Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's story. In this episode, we follow Tuna and Alex as they embark on a journey far beyond their own farm. This time, to help people rebuild after a devastating flood. With compassion as their compass, they donate a total of 50,000 USD, traveling from one damaged village to another, offering not just supplies, but a sense of hope to families who have lost everything. From muddy roads and broken homes to laughter returning among children once again. This is a story about how kindness can bridge even the deepest divides. Stay with us until the end to witness how love, unity, and humanity shine brightest after the storm. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Your support truly means the world to us. The morning sun broke through the last of the storm clouds, its golden light spilling gently across the farm. The air still carried the faint scent of wet earth and rain-soaked leaves, a reminder of the destruction that had swept through just days earlier. Standing on the porch, Tuna cradled baby Henry in her arms. The little one blinked sleepily, his small fingers clutching at the fabric of her shirt. In the distance, the familiar hum of Alex's truck reached her ears. She smiled faintly and lifted her phone. "Alex, where are you now?" His voice came through the line, calm yet filled with quiet energy. "Almost there. The roads are clearer today. Get ready, Tuna. The water's finally receding." Hearing that, relief flooded her chest. "Good," she whispered. "We can finally help." Last night, long after Henry had fallen asleep, Alex had told her his plan: to return to the nearby town that had been hit hardest by the floods, to bring supplies and money to families who'd lost everything. Together, they had counted the funds they'd managed to raise, 50,000 US dollars in total. It wasn't everything the villagers needed, but it was enough to start rebuilding hope. Tuna kissed Henry's forehead gently. "Mommy's going to help people, okay? Be good for Grandma." The baby cooed softly, his innocent gaze anchoring her determination. Minutes later, the sound of gravel crunching signaled Alex's arrival. The blue truck came to a stop at the gate, mud splattered across its tires. Alex stepped out, his sleeves rolled up, his expression a blend of exhaustion and determination. "Ready?" he asked. Tuna nodded, shifting Henry in her arms. "Let's go. We can't waste daylight." Their first stop was Alex's mother's house, perched at the edge of the farm. The roof still glistened with rainwater, and the air smelled faintly of rice cooking on the stove. Alex's mother greeted them at the door, her kind face lined with concern. "Mom," Alex said softly, "we're heading to the flood zone again. Can you look after Henry for us?" The older woman took the baby into her arms with practiced tenderness. "Go," she urged them. "Help those who need it. The boy will be safe here." Tuna hesitated for a brief second, her gaze fixed on Henry's tiny face. A pang tugged at her heart. Part of her wanted to keep him close, but another part knew she couldn't stay behind when so many families were struggling to survive. As they climbed back into the truck, the morning light glinted across the wet road ahead. Fields stretched endlessly on both sides, dotted with broken fences and scattered debris. "The water took everything," Alex murmured. Tuna nodded silently, her throat tight. "Then let's give them something back." The drive was long, the roads uneven, with puddles reflecting fragments of sky. Villagers along the roadside were already at work, shoveling mud, salvaging what they could. When the truck reached the town's edge, the scale of the damage came into full view. Collapsed roofs, overturned carts, and houses stripped to their wooden frames. Tuna climbed out first, rolling up her sleeves. "Let's start here," she said, her tone firm but gentle. They began by unloading supplies: boxes of rice, bottled water, blankets, and medicine. Nearby, children huddled together, their faces smudged with dirt, eyes wide with fatigue. Seeing them, Tuna felt something tighten deep inside her. She handed a blanket to a young mother whose hands trembled as she took it. "Here," Tuna said softly, "for your little one." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Alex joined her, passing out water bottles and disinfectant. "We'll help rebuild your home," he promised. "You're not alone." Hour after hour, they worked alongside the villagers, cleaning mud from floors, stacking salvaged wood, and distributing money to families most in need. The total amount, $50,000, was divided fairly among dozens of households, each envelope a symbol of renewal. "Even a small start matters," Alex said as he handed out the final few. His shirt clung to his back with sweat, but his eyes shone with quiet satisfaction. Tuna looked around at the muddy streets, the faces slowly lifting with hope. "It's not much," she whispered, "but it's something real." As the day stretched on, they moved from one neighborhood to another. The smell of damp soil mixed with the faint aroma of someone cooking instant noodles over a makeshift fire. Children chased each other through puddles, their laughter faint but alive. At one point, a man approached Alex, his voice trembling. "Sir, my fishing boat was destroyed. Without it, I can't feed my family." Alex placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We'll cover the repair costs," he said simply. "You'll get back on the river soon?" Tuna watched that exchange, pride swelling in her chest. Alex wasn't just donating money. He was giving people a reason to believe again. When the afternoon sun began to sink, the two of them took a brief rest near the town's small bridge. The water below still ran murky brown, carrying fragments of broken branches and memories of the storm. "Do you think they'll recover?" Tuna asked quietly. Alex looked out over the river, thoughtful. "They will," he said. "People are stronger than they think. Sometimes all they need is a push, a reminder that they're not forgotten." Tuna smiled faintly, her hair brushing her face in the wind. "You always know what to say." He chuckled softly. "You're the one doing most of the work." They both laughed, a brief lightness cutting through the heaviness of the day. But soon, their laughter faded into the steady rhythm of shovels scraping mud and children's distant voices calling for help. As evening approached, they visited one last neighborhood where a small school had been half flooded. The classrooms smelled of damp wood and chalk. Tuna bent down, picking up a soggy notebook from the floor. On its cover, a child's handwriting read, "Dream big." She smiled sadly. Even in the flood, they were dreaming. Alex took the notebook from her hand, brushing the mud from its pages. "Then we'll help them dream again." They handed the school principal an envelope, their final donation of the day. The man bowed deeply. tears glistening in his tired eyes. "You've given us hope," he said. "Not just money, but hope." As the last light faded from the sky, the couple stood side by side, hands muddy, hearts full. Around them, villagers were lighting small lanterns, the warm glow reflecting in puddles scattered across the road. Tuna whispered, "Maybe this is what it means to rebuild. Not just houses, but hearts." Alex nodded, his gaze steady on the horizon. $50,000 won't fix everything, he said, but it's a start. And sometimes that's enough. The wind carried their words away, soft and sure. The town behind them was still broken, but no longer hopeless. The next morning dawned misty and cool, with faint streaks of light piercing through the clouds. Tuna awoke to the sound of roosters crowing in the distance and the muffled hum of Alex's truck being loaded. She rubbed her eyes, the ache in her arms still fresh from yesterday's work. But the memory of those smiling faces, the children clutching donated blankets, the mothers whispering words of gratitude, pushed the fatigue aside. When she stepped outside, Alex was already by the truck, securing the last few boxes of supplies. "Morning," he said, flashing a tired but genuine smile. "You slept at all?" "Barely," Tuna admitted, brushing stray hair from her face. "But I kept thinking about those people in the next village. They lost even more." Alex nodded, glancing at the road ahead. "Then we'll go there today." As they drove, the landscape changed. The farther they went, the more visible the scars of the flood became. Collapsed fences, drowned fields, and trees bent low under the weight of silt and debris. When they arrived at the second village, the silence was heavier. The storm had ripped through it like a beast, leaving homes half buried in mud. Villagers gathered as soon as Alex and Tuna stepped out, drawn by the sight of the truck and its cargo. One old man approached, his voice trembling. "Are you from the government?" "No," Tuna replied gently. "We're just here to help." She handed him a bag of rice and an envelope containing financial aid. The man's wrinkled hands shook as he accepted them. "Bless you," he whispered, his eyes wet with tears. "We thought no one would come." Alex and Tuna moved from house to house, their shoes sinking deep into the muddy paths. They handed out essentials, cleaned what they could, and spoke to the families about what they needed most. Many had lost their crops, their livestock swept away by the current. At one point, Tuna found herself standing in what used to be a small vegetable garden. The rows of greens were gone, replaced by thick mud and broken branches. A woman sat nearby, staring blankly at the ruins of her home. Tuna knelt beside her. "You'll grow again," she said softly. "The soil still lives. It just needs time." The woman looked up, her lips trembling into a faint smile. "Do you really think so?" Tuna nodded. "Yes, the land always finds its way back, just like we do." By noon, they had distributed the last of their supplies for the day. Alex, covered in mud, was helping two young men rebuild a wooden bridge that had been swept away. His muscles strained with every lift, but there was a quiet steadiness in him that made the villagers trust his presence. Tuna brought water for the group, smiling as she watched Alex work alongside the locals as if he'd lived there his whole life. You look like you belong here, she teased. He grinned, wiping sweat from his forehead. Maybe I do. These people, they remind me what matters. As the sun climbed higher, a local school teacher approached them. She explained how the flood had destroyed all their learning materials. The books, chalkboards, and desks were gone. Without hesitation, Alex said, "We'll buy new ones, whatever you need." Tuna added, "And I'll organize volunteers to help clean the school. The children deserve to study again soon." The teacher clasped her hands together in disbelief. "You've done so much already. Why keep giving?" Alex exchanged a glance with Tuna. His voice softened. "Because kindness multiplies. If we can help one person stand again, they'll help the next." That afternoon, they visited a makeshift shelter where dozens of families had gathered. Children huddled close to their parents, playing with scraps of wood and paper as makeshift toys. Tuna sat down among them, letting a small girl braid her damp hair, while another handed her a wilted flower. "You're so pretty," the little one said shyly. Tuna smiled, her eyes glistening. "You are too. You're all very brave." Nearby, Alex distributed food and checked the condition of the shelter's roof. When he returned, his gaze softened as he watched Tuna laugh with the children. "You always find a way to make them smile," he said quietly. "They remind me why we're here," she replied, holding his hand briefly. "Not for numbers or donations, but for moments like this." By evening, the exhaustion in their bodies was immense, yet their hearts felt lighter. Together, they stood at the edge of the riverbank, where the once raging floodwaters now flowed calm and gentle. The sky blazed with hues of orange and gold. Alex pulled a small notebook from his pocket, the same one he'd used to record every dollar spent. Every family helped. "We've reached 50,000, he said, flipping through the pages filled with notes and names. "Every cent's gone to someone who needed it." Tuna exhaled deeply, her gaze fixed on the fading light. "That's more than money. It's 50,000 reasons for people to hope again." Alex turned to her. "And 50,000 reasons for me to be proud of you." She laughed softly. "Proud of us, you mean?" They watched in silence as villagers lit candles outside their repaired homes, small flames flickering in the dusk like stars scattered across the earth. The scent of wet soil mixed with the faint aroma of wood smoke. It wasn't perfect, but it was life returning. Before leaving, a young boy ran up to them, clutching a small carved figure in his hand. "For you," he said breathlessly, holding it out to Tuna. It was a tiny wooden bird, roughly shaped but filled with care. Tuna bent down and accepted it gently. "Did you make this?" He nodded proudly. "My dad taught me before the storm." She looked at the bird, her voice soft. "Then you hold on to that lesson, okay? Even when things fall apart, you build again." When they finally drove away, the headlights cutting through the dark, Tuna leaned back in her seat. The day's fatigue settled over her like a blanket, but her spirit was light. "Do you ever wonder," she asked softly, "if we'll really make a difference?" Alex reached for her hand, squeezing gently. "We already did. Maybe not for everyone, but for someone." The road stretched ahead. winding through fields glistening under the moonlight. Behind them, the villages they'd visited glowed faintly with candlelight and laughter, proof that hope, once rekindled, could never truly be drowned. As they neared the farm, Tuna saw the porch light glowing warmly. Alex's mother waited at the doorway, Henry asleep in her arms. The sight brought tears to Tuna's eyes. She stepped out of the truck, took the baby into her embrace, and kissed his forehead. "He's been an angel," Alex's mother said kindly. "Did you help many people?" Tuna nodded, smiling through her exhaustion. "More than I ever imagined." Alex placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "And tomorrow, we'll keep helping, as long as people need us." That night, long after everyone had gone to bed, Tuna stood by the window, the wooden bird in her hand. The moonlight traced its edges, rough yet beautiful, just like the lives they'd touched. She whispered to herself, "We can't stop every storm, but we can help people find their way through one." And with that quiet thought, she finally smiled, knowing that even in a world scarred by floods, there would always be hands, like hers and Alex's, ready to rebuild.